We're now joined by Dan Perry, a world affairs expert. He's joining us now from Tel Aviv in Israel. Dan, welcome back. Always a pleasure to have you on NewsX World. Thanks very much for joining us today to discuss this latest update. The Kremlin has announced that an American delegation will be attending the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum this week, one of the first official American participations since almost 10 years. Are we seeing a shift in Russia-America relations? We've seen previous visits of Duma members to the United States Congress. Are we seeing a shift right now with the attendance of the American delegation to this economic forum this week?
It certainly seems like we might be. As you said, it might fuel speculation. The simple fact is that it's been a while since U.S. officials have gone to Russia, and despite Trump's obvious sympathies to Putin, an inclination to adopt Kremlin propaganda points about the origins of the war and the unfolding of the war, the U.S. has still maintained a boycott of Russia, certainly diplomatically, and it's maintained to a significant degree the economic boycott of Russia, and this is an economic conference. So it would appear so. Now, whether this involves an even greater American capitulation to Russia's narrative in the war, or rather, are they setting the stage for the opposite, softening of Putin's position because he himself may want to end the war, that remains to be seen. But it certainly signals that the U.S. and Russia are now talking more than before.
Indeed. Dan, we've also seen previous meetings between the United States and China, and then that meeting was followed very promptly by a meeting between China and Russia. Are we seeing kind of a realignment of actors if we do see all of these meetings following each other, all very different with different priorities, but it does look like there is some sort of parallel diplomacy that's going on. Of course, we now are going to be seeing this delegation from the United States head to Russia this week. Is this perhaps a response to the meeting that was between Russia and China, for example?
It could be. Remember that there was a meeting between Xi and Trump as well in recent weeks. So it looks like there's a lot of diplomatic activity in an effort to reorient the international geopolitical landscape, partly orchestrated by the U.S. Because Trump observes that the current position is not favorable to him and to his party in the midterms. And if Trump should lose the midterms, meaning if the Republicans should lose both the House and the Senate, then he's in big trouble. His agenda is gone, and he will face investigations and probable impeachments, and he will be able to do very little as a lame duck in his last 2 years as president. So he wants to avoid that. Although the election in November is not for the presidency, it basically is for the viability of the remaining term of Trump's presidency. So that is why we see him going to Xi Jinping more or less hand in hand. That is why we see the Americans very much trying to recruit the Chinese in their efforts to strong-arm Iran. That is potentially why we're seeing the Americans amplify their discussions with Russia, perhaps in an attempt to find a way to end the Ukraine war before the midterms. That would be a significant accomplishment that he could trumpet, and that might potentially make a defeat less likely. All these things connect. The trade war with China, which Trump is trying to walk away from because it's unpopular. The Iran war, which Trump is trying to walk away from because it's unpopular. The Ukraine war, which Trump is trying to resolve in search of some sort of victory to trumpet. It all aligns, and all these countries have relationships with one another, including, by the way, Saudi Arabia and Russia. Both are largely oil-based economies, and Russia would like the price of oil to stay high. My guess is that's what they'll be asking the Saudis to do, and that, of course, would run afoul of what the U.S. would like the Saudis to do.
Indeed, a lot of competing interests. Dan, thanks very much for joining us on the program. Always a pleasure to hear your analysis.